I'm Dr. Nerita, 12 years as a board-certified urologist. Thousands of men just like you sitting across from me whispering the same worry. Doc, is it still okay? Am I hurting myself? Today, we're pulling the curtains back on something no one taught us in school, something your dad never mentioned, something even your doctor might dance around. How to masturbate safely after 60, and the 3 big mistakes that quietly chip away at your circulation, your prostate, your confidence, and the simple joy of still feeling like a man. This isn't about shame. It's about protecting the body you've earned through decades of hard work, laughter, and love. So, if you've ever wondered, am I doing this wrong? Stick with me. Quick favor before we dive in. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Florida porch, Midwest basement. I read every single one, and it helps YouTube show this to other men who need it. And if you want more straight talk health for guys over 60, tap that subscribe button and ring the bell. All right, let's get you the truth your body's been waiting for. First, let's clear the air with something I wish every man heard at 60. Masturbation doesn't expire. Your prostate doesn't get a memo that says, "Time's up, shut the factory." In fact, gentle, regular self-stimulation is one of the kindest things you can do for your pelvic floor, your testosterone rhythm, and yes, even your heart. Here's what happens inside when you give yourself that release. Biologically, fresh blood rushes through the corpora cavernosa, those sponge-like chambers in your penis flushing out stale fluid, delivering oxygen, and keeping tissue supple. Your prostate gets a gentle massage, pushing old secretions out and reducing nighttime bathroom trips. Emotionally, you reclaim a private corner of joy that belongs only to you. No performance reviews, no expectations, just proof your body still answers when you call. Practically, better sleep, lower cortisol, a quieter mind before bed. One patient told me, "Doc, I stopped waking at 3 a.m., worrying about the grandkids the night I started taking my time again." But, and this is the part no one warns you about the way your body wants touch, at 65 is not the way it wanted it at 35. Skin thins, nerve endings get picky, blood vessels get opinionated. Treat your penis like it's still 25, and you'll pay for it in soreness, frustration, or worse, numbness that steals pleasure for good. The good news? Small, dignified tweaks turn self-care from a guilty rush into a restorative ritual. And the first step is recognizing the mistakes almost every man makes without realizing it. I'm not guessing here. Over the last 12 years, I've sat with truck drivers, CEOs, widowers, grandpas who coach Little League men from every walk who trusted me with their most private fear. I think I broke something. I've seen the ultrasounds, felt the swollen prostates, stitched the tiny tears from grips that forgot gentleness is medicine. I've also seen the transformations men who went from wincing to smiling in 6 weeks just by changing how they touch themselves. So when I say these 3 mistakes are universal, I mean I've caught them in exam rooms from Seattle to Sarasota. And when I say they're fixable, I mean I've watched dignity return to men who thought it was gone forever. Mistake #3, rushing like it's a fire drill. Picture this. It's late. The house is quiet. You finally steal 10 minutes, but your brain's still at the hardware store, still replaying the argument with your son, still calculating the mortgage. You treat your body like a snooze button, smash it quick, and get back to worry. Here's what that does. Biologically, your sympathetic nervous system stays on high alert. Blood vessels clamp half shut. Instead of the deep, warm engorgement you need, you get a stressed, shallow pulse. Over months, your penis learns to expect tension, not pleasure. Emotionally, you reinforce the story that your pleasure doesn't matter, that you're an inconvenience even to yourself. That's a dagger to a man's quiet pride. Practically, you finish unsatisfied, maybe a little raw, and the next time you reach for yourself, you hesitate. The cycle tightens. Bill, 68, retired Marine, came in complaining he couldn't feel anything anymore. Turns out he'd been speed masturbating in the garage between oil changes 90 seconds. Death grip, 0 warm-up. 3 weeks after he promised me 5 slow minutes in a locked bedroom, he reported his first wet dream in decades. His body just needed permission to relax. Fix #3, the 5-minute sanctuary. Set the stage, lock the door, silence the phone, tell your brain, this time is mine. Breathe like you mean it. In through the nose for 4, out through the mouth for 6. 3 rounds. Watch your belly rise, not your chest. Warm the engine, stroke your thighs, your belly, your chest first. Let blood pool slowly, like warming syrup. Do this, and you'll feel the shift tissues softening, nerves waking up like they're stretching after a long nap. Mistake #2, the death grip reflex. You know the move. Thumb and 2 fingers locked like a vice, stroking like you're trying to start a lawnmower that won't catch. It worked at 30. At 60, it's a slow sabotage. Biology lesson. The penis has 2 main erectile bodies, the corpora cavernosa filled with millions of tiny lacunae like microscopic balloons. Slam them with pressure and they bruise. Nerves buried in the skin get crushed. Over years, your brain rewires. Only hurricane force equals pleasure. Result? Partnered sex feels like a whisper. Solo sex requires a tourniquet. Emotionally, you start avoiding touch altogether because it hurts, or because you're ashamed you need so much force. One patient whispered, "I feel like I'm abusing myself, doc." Practically, micro tears lead to Peyronie's scar tissue, those stiff plaques that curve you like a banana. I've done the surgeries. Trust me, you don't want them. Real example. Tom, 62, accountant, came in with a grip so tight his knuckles blanched. ED meds barely worked because his nerves were shell-shocked. We retrained him with a feather-light touch and silicone lube for 4 weeks. His wife called me crying happy tears. He felt her again for the first time in years. Fix #2, the feather and lube protocol. Loosen 1 finger at a time. Start with just your pinky and ring finger. If it feels like nothing good, that's your nerves waking up. Invest in lube, water-based, fragrance-free. A dime-sized dollop cuts friction by 80%. Think of it as oil for the engine you want to run another 30 years. Focus on the journey. Circle the head, trace the seam, tease the frenulum. Pleasure lives in the details now, not the jackhammer. Give your body 2 weeks. You'll be shocked how sensitive you become, like discovering a radio station you forgot existed. Mistake #1, carrying shame in your fist. This one's sneaky because it lives between your ears, not your fingers. You're touching yourself, but your mind is screaming, dirty, weak, pathetic old man. Maybe from church. Maybe from a father who caught you at 14. Maybe from a culture that says real men only want sex with trophies on their arm. Biologically, shame spikes cortisol, which slams testosterone. Chronic guilt shrinks the libido center in your brain, literally. MRI studies show it. Emotionally, you disconnect. Your erection becomes a stranger. Practically, desire flatlines. You tell your doctor, "I guess I'm done." But you're not done, you're wounded. Story. Frank, 70, lost his wife 2 years ago. Felt guilty every time he got hard, like I was cheating on her memory. Avoided touch for months, then came in with prostate congestion so bad he was up 8 times a night. 3 sessions with a sex-positive therapist, plus my permission prescription. Yes, I write those. And he wept in my office. I touched myself last night and didn't hate myself after. Fix #1, the mirror talk plus compassionate reframe. Stand naked in front of a mirror. Look at your body without judgment. Say out loud, "This body carried me through Vietnam, boot camp, kids' birthdays. It deserves kindness." Rename the act. Call it self-care, health maintenance, or checking the equipment, whatever removes the sting. Bring in beauty. Light a candle. Play a song that makes you feel 40 again. Pleasure thrives in environments that feel sacred, not sinful. Do this, and shame loses its grip. Desire returns not as a roaring 20-year-old, but as a warm, steady companion. Once a week, bring yourself 80% of the way, then pause for 30 seconds. Breathe. Resume. This teaches your nervous system that pleasure isn't a sprint, it's a conversation. Bonus. A stronger pelvic floor and longer-lasting erections during partner intimacy. Listen, I need you to hear this in your bones. The fact that you're still curious, still caring enough to watch a 20-minute video about your own pleasure. That's not weakness. That's courage. Your body is not a museum piece gathering dust. It's a living archive of every hug you gave your kid, every sunrise you earned, every tear you swallowed so someone else wouldn't have to. It deserves maintenance, not punishment. You are not past your prime. You're in your refinement era, where pleasure gets deeper because you finally have time to listen. And if tonight you try one slow breath, one gentle stroke, one kind thought, know that somewhere a 6-8-year-old Marine is smiling because he did the same, and a 70-year-old widower is sleeping through the night for the first time in years. you're in good company. So here's your prescription, my friend. Touch yourself like the man you'd be proud to introduce to your grandson. Slow, respectful, curious, grateful. Hit that like button if this gave you even an ounce of hope.